Alright, so it is the 25th of May 2018, and we are no longer that underground of a channel that we used to be. In fact, yesterday the channel grew more than double. We had like 60 subscribers after a month of activity of this channel, and now we are at 133 subscribers last time I checked. I suspect somebody actually did share the channel in some of the social media, probably Reddit or Facebook or something like that. And we have a lot of new subscribers, and I suspect many of those new subscribers have not watched the previous videos where I explain on the go the basic concepts of the method that I use to predict the price movement. And for the new subscribers, I highly recommend you to go to the channel and chronologically, when you have time, look at each video regarding Bitcoin, where I make a certain prediction and I explain on the go the reason why I think this is actually going to occur, because this is going to be very important for the future videos so that you don't get lost. Because when, for example, when I'm talking about bullish behavior or bearish behavior or a change behavior in the price, because this analysis is not so much about lines. The lines are not that important at all. It is more about the behavior of the price. So what I'm going to do is, this is going to be a very brief introduction to the method. Like, I'll try to say the most important stuff in like 5 minutes if I'm able to. What I'm going to talk about is the most important concept is the channels. Usually the price moves in a channel either to the upside or to the downside. So for you to be able to actually gather a lot of information regarding the behavior of the price, which is the most important the most important thing is the behavior of the price, you need to use channels. A lot of people actually use trend lines. They will draw something like this, for example. They'll draw this kind of a line where they connect this low to those lows, and they're looking now at a trend line that suddenly, when it is breached to the downside, what kind of information does it give you? It gives you absolutely no information whatsoever. You don't know whether you should be going long or short. So what do you do now? What you have to do is connect those lows, maybe this low with this low, and then you're looking again, it breaches again. So they have to move the line over and over and over again so that they get some sort of a sense of what is actually going on, right? I don't do that. What I do is I use channels, and the channels are pretty much formed in a completely different manner when you're not connecting lows with lows or highs with highs. Instead, you're looking for specific action-reaction lines on the chart that gives you the proper direction and the angle of the slope. So in this case, it was like resistance, 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 resistance becomes support. And now you have a channel that you have to look for a top to see where the top of the channel is. But you could also guess where the channel is prior to where previously was support, so that you get there and find resistance. All right. So channels are really important, not because they give you very nice entry points like this and here, for example, for a big move to the upside, and not only they can give you a lot of resistance points right here and here and here and here, right? But they give you the most important piece of information, which is when you have a change of behavior. So you have been moving up for probably a month to the upside, and then you have to be able to detect change of behavior again based on the same slope. So the first change of behavior that we witnessed in Bitcoin was right here in this area right here. You can look at the videos from the 7th and the 8th of April, actually May. All right. And what I said was this: we have been following this channel to the upside, and this line of support has been very strong support, pushing the price higher, a lot higher. So this time the price moved from 7.8 to 9.8. So this is $2,000 move to the upside. Next time we visit the line, we move from 8.8 to almost 10k. So this is $1,200 move to the upside, and there is very little resistance. So you can see the price just starts moving up. But this time we moved down to the support level right here, and we try to move up and we find resistance. Then we move back down to the support level right here. We try to move up and we find resistance. The next time we visit the line, we actually try to breach below the support level. The price bounces back up and finds resistance where? Again, the same area, a little bit higher in terms of price, but in the same area in terms of the slope. Then the price reverses back down and find support back on the same support level, and then we move back up and we find resistance on the same level for the fourth time. And right here, what I said in the update, that I'm going short Bitcoin, and the reason is because we are now finding change in behavior, which is very bearish. The price is unable to continue and get any traction to the upside. So I'm looking at it, the behavior has been changed. And if the price doesn't want to go up, what that means is the price wants to actually go down. So I got short right here, and the price fell below the bottom of the uptrending channel. All right. So what do we do now? We watch the price actually recover, and it's finding resistance below the channel. Again, based on the uptrending channel right here. And this is kind of significant behavior, because not only we are now below the uptrending channel that was pushing the price to the upside, but now we are finding resistance on the top of the channel. So right here, if you look at the update on the probably 9th or the 10th of May, you'll see that I drew something like this, and I said if we get an extended move to the downside, I'll be looking for support in this area right here on the chart. All right, and the reason for that was that I drew a parallel from the original channel to the downside right here, which is the channel that was pushing the price of Bitcoin to the downside to 6k, and I copied it in two places. I copied it at the top right here on the 6th of May, and where this same downtrending channel was active inside the uptrend. So we had resistance, 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 resistance. Once we breach it, we make a big move to the upside. So resistance, 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 resistance becomes support. Does it remind to you something? Resistance, 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 we breach it and it becomes support, and then becomes support. All right, so it is the same behavior but in reverse. So we were looking for support where previously was resistance based on the downtrending slope. Now I was looking for a little bit of a breather in Bitcoin. All right, so what I did was, all right, so we have now breached the original channel, but do we discard the original channel to the upside? No, we don't. What we do is we clone a parallel and we try to find where is most probably we're gonna get another resistance based on the uptrending channel. And what I said was, we're right here, is that most probably we're going to find resistance based on this level right here. So I was looking for support and a bounce in Bitcoin. We moved up, and right here I said the bounce in Bitcoin is not yet over. We need to breach this level right here, and if we don't, I'll be looking for resistance in this area right here. So it played out completely fine. So this uptrending slope is still active right here, and this downtrending slope is still active right there, even though it originates right here. All right, so you have reoccurring uptrending and downtrending slopes on the chart, and it's all about behavior. And the most important behavior that we have is this. Whenever the price is actually strengthening, we are moving in floors. All right, so the price initially, before it bounces, moves from this level right here on the slope to this level on the slope, right? So this was the first floor inside the slope to the upside. Then what you have is that we breach this level and we go one floor to the upside. So we are now right here in this area right here. And then you have the third floor where we breach this level of resistance when we come here. So we have support, we find resistance. When we come back, we find support, and now we breach it. So now we have a little bit of a change of behavior, because so far we have been strengthening to the upside. We have been moving from this area to this area, and now we were to this area. But now look, we have breached and we have now come down to the previous floor right here. So we are still going up, but we are now at a lower floor. So we are now finding resistance at a lower floor. Also, if you imagine that this slope is horizontal, what does it look like? You have resistance, you have a breach, a higher high, and you have resistance, Does it remind you to something? Shoulder, head, and a shoulder, indicating a move to the downside. And then we go down. So we had the first change of behavior, which is very bearish. The second change of behavior is extremely bearish, and we move down. So now we're looking at the downtrending slope, and also we are looking at the same behavior, but in reverse, where first we were moving to the upside from here to here, then to here to here, then we had the third floor, then we start stepping down, and we step down from here, this area of the slope, to this area of the slope right here, and then we moved even lower to this area of the slope, and then we breached again, and we moved from here to here, and then we move from here to currently here. So what I said was this was the 21st. All right, so I made an update right here in this area, and I said we are most probably at the top of Bitcoin and I'm going short. And what I said was that you can expect a little bit of a, kind of a slow descent of the price until we break this level right here, because this would confirm, if we move below, that we are now continuing this behavior of stepping down inside of the uptrending slope. All right. So this is the function of the slopes. They're not only giving you the price where to get long or short, they are not only giving you the direction of the price, but they are also giving you clues for certain change of behavior and how to properly analyze the chart so that you can expect what the next move is going to be. Another aspect of the charts is its fractal nature. So you have those small moves to the upside and then this small wave to the downside. So these are little waves, but if you look at it, they're really small. All right. So the fractal nature of markets is that you can actually see different kind of information based on the time frame that you're looking at. All right. So most analysts you're going to see on TradingView or any other site, what they do is they give you, for example, the daily chart of Bitcoin, and they say, well, I see now a head and shoulder formation and we are now going down. All right. This is what they normally do. They are analyzing only one time frame at a time. All right. So, for example, they are looking at this move right here and they say, well, we are now moving to the upside. We are very bullish, but they are failing to analyze all other time frames that give you a little bit more information. All right. So what is the big picture in Bitcoin? Well, the big picture in Bitcoin is something like this. So you're having this behavior again based on the uptrending slope that is on the bigger charts, the 4-hour charts and the daily charts. What you have is this high right here, and you have a lower high right here, and you have the big crash to 6K. Then what you have is this high right here and this high right here at 11.7, and then you have this high right here that we had at just 10K. So what is the behavior of the price right now? If you think about it, we have lower highs. We have this high, a crash, a lower high, a huge crash, a lower high, a crash, a lower high, and a move down. Where are we finding support? We're finding obviously support right here, and this is based on the uptrending channel on the bigger chart. So you have resistance, support, 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 support. So now we are making our way down to support. Now, if I look at the trading view analysts right now, they're now looking for a move to the upside. They're still bullish. They are seeing the support, but what they're doing is they're ignoring the fact that those highs are getting lower and lower and lower, and the price, by having those lower lows, is going to put a lot of pressure on this support line. And what they have to do is do this, or even this. So yeah, we have found support, but in reality the support level is around 4K. All right, so the final support level technically is at 4K. Okay, so again, it gives you an idea what are we doing right now. So we have been stepping down in this channel right here. So from here we went down to here, and then here, and now here, and now we are right here. So we're stepping down inside the uptrending channel while we're making our way down to the support on the bigger time frame right here. All right, so we have a little bit to the downside. Probably we're going to do a little bit of a consolidation and then a move to the downside to support. And now, based again on behavior analysis, what is the most probable outcome? All right, so let's go and zoom out a little bit to the 4-hour chart. So what you have is a touch on the same level of support and a big bounce to 11.8. Then you have this retracement back to the line. You have support, 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 a move up, and now you make a high to 10K, so a little bit lower. So we have been making our way down to the same level of support. And there are two scenarios that are most probable right now. The first is a move down and a bounce to where? A lower high, until actually this support breaches. All right, so we have these lower highs. So maybe we're going to get another bounce from the same line before we actually breach it. Because when you have such, so many lower highs, and this behavior continues until the behavior actually changes, and instead of lower highs, we have higher high, we have to remain bearish and look for a bearish behavior. We should never ever allow any sort of a bias regarding the price, whether you're super investing in Bitcoin or in any other crypto. Having this kind of a bias to the upside will always make you see a move to the upside instead of a move to the downside. For example, what you see is many people are looking at similar level. They're looking at horizontal levels, most of them, but pretty much they are expecting a move to the upside. You see, they are waiting for another bounce, like a huge bounce, and now the price goes of Litecoin goes to 500% on wave 3. All right, so Litecoin long, so now they want to go long here. All right. So it's kind of amazing. They're looking for support here. Again, they are drawing these kind of triangles that they never work whatsoever. They are again looking for a big move to the upside. But what they're doing is they're ignoring that this level of support is not the final level of support. The final level of support is right here. All right. So what you see, what I explained was the channels, the reoccurring uptrending and downtrending channels that allow you to analyze the price. Okay. Also, I talked about the fractal nature of the markets, where you cannot just analyze one time frame and decide based on this one single time frame the whole picture. But there is another thing about markets that is very crucial that you almost never see from any analyst, and it's like this. what you normally have is one market. And what people will do is they will try to analyze this market. So this is the market. And what they do is they look at the market alone and they say, well, now I think that the market is bullish or it is bearish. But there is a little bit of a problem. For example, let's say that this market is the euro. All right. So this is the euro. You want to know what the euro currency is going to do. And you analyze only the euro. Right? But there is a little bit of a problem. The euro market does not move in isolation from any other market on the planet. No market moves in isolation from all other markets. All right? So this is the euro. What are the correlations? Which market is the euro correlated with? Obviously, it is correlated with the dollar index. All right? So you have to analyze the dollar index at this current moment and see what is going on with the dollar index. It is strongly correlated with the Swiss franc. So you need to know what is the Swiss franc doing. All right. It is also, for example, if you want to know what the dollar index is going to do, you have to analyze other currencies. For example, what is the Australian dollar doing? What is gold doing? So you have to know what are the other markets doing in order to make any sort of a concrete decision what the euro is going to do. And what usually happens is that analysts analyze the euro alone or gold alone or oil alone without analyzing the other markets. And what usually happens is that other markets move in isolation, do not move in isolation from everything else. In fact, they move in tandem, and what you're going to see is that usually when one market is at support, the other markets are going to be at support in the cryptocurrency market because they have a positive correlation with the Bitcoin price. For example, when Bitcoin goes up, the other markets goes up. All right, so Litecoin goes up, Ethereum goes up, Ripple goes up. But in other markets, the forex markets is a little bit more complex. There you have a negative correlation where, now, for example, if the dollar goes up, the euro goes down, or if gold goes up, the dollar goes down, or reverse, because the dollar is the anti-gold. So when gold moves to the upside, you have the negative correlation with the dollar going down, and so on and so forth. So analyzing just one time frame on just one market gives you like 10% of the whole information. So you are absolutely unable to make any concrete decision as to what is going on. So look at the chart of Bitcoin. So these are primarily the most important support and resistance levels. And we are currently now very close to this support level on the Bitcoin chart, on the bigger chart. This has to be the daily. But let's take a look at the Litecoin. Does it look similar to you? Yes, it's very much similar. It is at the same area of the chart right now. So Litecoin is already at this support level. All right. Bitcoin is kind of almost there. So again, what do you expect? You have the same behavior. High, lower high, lower high, lower high. What is the most possible scenario? Lower high. And at some point, maybe even now, a breach of the support and a big move to the downside. Probably first to below $50. All right. So many people allow themselves to make analysis based on one time frame without looking at other markets. This is a huge mistake, and this is just making a decision based on 10% of the information. And it's all most of the time wrong. So again, lower highs. We have the same support. At some point, this support has to give. Are we going to get a little bit of a bounce first? To probably here before this support actually gives way and Litecoin goes down to $30 and Bitcoin goes down to 4K, or what is going to happen? Now I expect a bounce here. a small bounce in both Litecoin and Bitcoin, but it will depend on the timing. So right now they're at crucial levels. The crucial level for Bitcoin is not 6K. Many people will be looking at this horizontal line right here. 6K, they were looking at 6K and they say, well, if we move below 6K, then it's game over. But the truth is, this is the level that you should be looking at, which is 6.7. If you see Bitcoin at 6.7, you know that the game is up, and this move to the downside, this final huge leg to the downside in Bitcoin will continue, and you're going to see huge moves to the downside in the altcoins, especially Litecoin that has been pretty stable recently. You know, many people were like, oh, Litecoin is doing very well in my portfolio. If you see Litecoin going below 110, let's say you see Litecoin at 109 or maybe 108, you know that the move up is already over, and you're going to see a huge move to the downside. So we are now at $120. Litecoin can easily go to 30 bucks. 30 bucks. So this is like, what is this? 400% to the downside. You know, if Litecoin goes down to 30 bucks, you have to go 400% to the upside to reach this level back again. Amazing. So the crypto investors are up for a very bad nightmarish situation. Many people are now becoming aware that in fact this was a bubble that popped. Many people were in denial, and still some people cling to the idea that 6K in Bitcoin is going to give some sort of a massive support, and I don't think this is actually going to happen. We might get a little bit of a bounce, and this is going to be a shorting opportunity for any trader that looks at the charts objectively without any bias. That anybody who doesn't care whether the price goes up or down, but just looks at the market objectively and says, all right, so what is the most likely scenario? Well, the most likely scenario is move down in the $30 for Litecoin and 4K or maybe even lower for Bitcoin. All right, so I hope I explained the main ideas when I'm trading. You have the channel that gives you not only the price range, but also gives you the ability to recognize behavior and changing behavior of the price. You have the fractal nature of the markets, where you have to analyze the market on many different time frames to see the big picture, and also you have the interconnectedness of the markets, where no market moves in isolation. If you actually analyze many different markets, you'll see that they move in tandem. In this case, Litecoin and Bitcoin and Ethereum and all other cryptocurrencies are moving in a positive correlation, where the charts look pretty much the same, especially on the main coins. They look pretty much the same. They are now at a very crucial support. Maybe we're going to get a little bit of bounce and then move down. Maybe we're going down without any sort of a bounce whatsoever. This remains to be seen, but the situation is extremely bearish in cryptocurrencies. So yeah, I hope that the new subscribers will have some sort of a better idea for the next videos when I'm talking about support, resistance, behavior, change of behavior. But if you have to take one thing out of this video, is this high is higher than this high, and this high is lower than this high, and this high is lower than this high. If you want to see bull market in cryptocurrencies, you need to see this high in Litecoin. This is 180 for being taken out to the upside. All right, actually it has to be breached, like you have to breach this level to the upside, like you want to see 200 bucks Litecoin. And in Bitcoin, it's going to be just a move above 10K. Pretty much this will signal the return of the bull market. But until we make lower lows, No matter what anybody tells you, the market is extremely bearish, and it is going to become even more bearish, especially when we move below those key levels in Litecoin and Bitcoin. And pretty much you can chart any sort of a cryptocurrency, you're going to have the same picture. Most of the shit coins, they are already right here. Some of them are right here even, like almost to zero. But the primary players are right now at a very crucial level of support. And I'm really sorry to be a party breaker, but I do expect that this line will breach to the downside. There is no bubble in history that has been able to recover from this kind of a level where the bubble just moves to the upside and then finds support right here and makes another high. This has never ever happened. It has to move down to this area right here. So you're going to see Litecoin at 30 bucks, 35, maybe 40 bucks, but in this area right here, huge move, at least 300%, probably as high as 400% down move in Litecoin before it actually bottoms. The nightmare for the crypto investors is just beginning. And yeah, so I hope this was useful for future subscribers. Yeah, I'm out.